and a fifth, death. Where the rest were depicted as broad-shouldered soldiers in greaves and palladimenta, the statue of Death's skeletal frame had been pierced through the chest with a carved arrow, right into a heart bleeding red. Somehow it watched Van, just a skull with empty eye sockets, as if it could sense the shard in his pocket, that the treasure it had been sculpted to protect had returned home.
"The only one left standing in our way,"
Atlas said, as he placed his hand on Moore's bony shoulder.
"Our way," Van balked. "I wonder what his trial will be. Does he know what I have done?"
Van could still feel the cobwebs clinging to his skin, couldn't shake the catacomb cold from his limbs. But then a wide, naive smile crept onto Atlas's face.
"What are you waiting for?"
Van hovered over the altar. 3 black porcelain shards had been arranged so that their jagged edges aligned. They'd fit together like puzzle pieces. 2 more, and the Vase of Venus Aurelia would be whole again.
"Drat! The shard! It's with my journal,"
Van said, rolling out his shoulders in agitation. He pressed a finger to his temple. Forgetful. Believable.
"I forgot it back at camp."
Atlas squinted.
"That's unlike you." "Is it? You barely take your nose out of that diary of yours."
Another one of his piercing laughs cut Van right to the marrow.
"It's not a—"
Atlas clasped a hand on his shoulder.
"I'll grab it. Left side under your pillow, right?"
Van frowned.
"That's supposed to be a secret."
Glancing over his shoulder, Atlas was already running toward the entry staircase.
"I thought we didn't keep secrets."
He was the closest thing Van had to a best friend. A brother.
"Don't do anything until I get back, okay?"
Atlas called back.
"Promise me!" "Promise!"
Van yelled after his receding footsteps. And then he waited, still until the temple door slammed. His palms slicked with sweat. Could he really do this? Steadying himself, he withdrew the 4th shard from his pocket, and then a 5th. Gold danced across the surface of the vase's pieces. Delicate brushstrokes depicting myrtle blooms and rolling waves were woven together by a string of Latin that could only be read when all 5 shards were reunited. If Van had been able to understand Latin at all. Flat on the altar, he pressed the seams of 2 pieces together. Aureus amor aeternus et cor. As soon as the last shard was fitted into place, the vase burned Van's fingertips. Hot. He staggered backward as the pottery began to float, light emanating from each shard. Gold dripped in the seams, fusing the shards back together. Then it stopped. The light dimmed. Van batted away the sudden darkness like he did after one of Atlas's poorly timed photo ops. This was it. Before he could step to the vase, it shattered. 5 shards clattered against the stone altar, but they didn't break. Van reached for them, and a shout died in his throat. Where his fingertips should have brushed porcelain, there was nothing. The shards had vanished. They couldn't have vanished. That was absurd. The Vase of Venus Aurelia was myth, not magic. The key to a hidden treasure, vast piles of gold, undying fame. A way to finally be someone. They'd fallen under the altar. That must have been it. There was always a logical explanation. He moved to take a step, but his foot turned heavy, stuck. Van strained, stretched. It did nothing. He couldn't move. He glanced down at his boot as